If you're going on a cruise, there's one place you're guaranteed to visit. Not the spa, not the casino. I'm talking about the glorious, overflowing buffet. It's convenient, it's fast, it's where diets go to die. With dignity. But here's the thing. As wonderful as the cruise buffet can be, there are some easy-to-make mistakes that can ruin your experience, or someone else's. So today, we're covering 15 cruise buffet mistakes that every smart cruiser should avoid, plus a few etiquette reminders you wish other passengers knew. Let's dig in before the food gets cold. You just boarded. You're excited, hungry, and so is everyone else. That's why the buffet is packed tighter than a Black Friday sale at Costco. Families with luggage, long lines, no tables. But here's your pro move. Check if the main dining room is open. Many offer a quiet sit-down lunch with better food and no chaos. Or head to the pool grill or pizza station. Some ships even offer discounted specialty dining on day one, a little-known perk. Bottom line? Unless you love a crowd, skip the embarkation buffet madness and explore your quieter options. Yes, it's all you can eat, but that doesn't mean it all has to be on one plate. Mac and cheese, fried chicken, pizza, shrimp cocktail, pork roast, a meatball, and that's just one spoonful. Take smaller portions, try a few bites, then go back for seconds or thirds without wasting food or feeling like you swallowed an anchor. Let's talk cleanliness. That hand sanitizer station? It's not decorative. Buffets mean shared tongs, shared spoons, and, unfortunately, shared germs. Always sanitize or wash your hands before diving in. Don't use your fingers. Don't double dip. And for heaven's sake, don't lick anything and put it back. Oh, and if you drop a roll on the sneeze guard, that's a sign. One of cruising's best-kept secrets? Each side of the buffet might be different. What looks like a mirror image setup might actually hide the stir-fry station of your dreams. Some ships offer sushi on one end and tacos on the other. Asian cuisine over here, roast beef carving station over there. So before you settle for mystery casserole, do a little buffet window shopping. If you have food allergies, listen up. Cruise lines are pretty good at helping out, but you've got to speak up. Let the line know before you sail. Talk to a manager, not just the buffet server with 6 trays and a ladle. Cross-contamination is real, especially with shared serving utensils. When in doubt, ask for a supervisor. They'd much rather help you early than call the ship doctor later. Yes, there's bacon. Yes, there's cake. But cruise buffets also have grilled veggies, sugar-free desserts, salads with more than just iceberg lettuce. You don't have to eat clean the whole trip. This is vacation after all. But if you're aiming to not need stretchy pants by day 5, balance is your friend. We all learned how to behave at Golden Corral. Let's not forget it on the high seas. Here's your refresher. Don't cut in line. Don't hover and hold up the station. Don't make life harder for the crew. And always, always, grab a clean plate for seconds, even if your old one isn't that dirty. This isn't a backyard BBQ. It's a shared space with 3,000 strangers. Oh, and try not to camp out at your table during peak lunch. If others are circling like seagulls looking for a spot, maybe wrap up the poker game. Buffets get busy, like line out the door busy. Want to avoid the crowd? Eat a little early or a little late. Lunch at 11:30? Peaceful. Lunch at noon? Utter madness. Dinner at 6:45? Lines. Dinner at 5:30 or 8 o'clock? Smooth sailing. You'll thank yourself for the quieter experience, and for not having to fight over the last breadstick. You're not in a rush. This isn't airport food between connections. Slow down. Chew. Breathe. Enjoy your meal. If you wolf down your meal in 7 minutes flat, you'll just end up with indigestion and a missed opportunity to people watch. Relax. You're on a cruise. I hate to be the fun police, but your wet swimsuit and no shirt look, not Buffett approved. Most cruise lines ask for a cover-up or t-shirt before entering. No shoes, no shirt, no shrimp. Also, no dripping through the buffet line like a soggy Labrador retriever. Dry off first, then dig in. Flip-flops are fine, but make sure everything that needs to be covered is covered. You just had a big lunch. You think, I'll skip dessert this time. But then you walk by the pastry station, and that tiny cheesecake calls your name like it knows your weaknesses. Remember, cruise calories don't count. That's not science, but it should be. If you see something that looks good, take it. The worst case scenario, you don't finish it. The better case scenario, you discover a chocolate mousse that changes your life. You pile up your plate, find the perfect table, and then realize your mouth is drier than a desert in August. Now you're stuck doing the buffet walk of shame, carrying your tray back through the crowd, looking for lemonade. Here's the fix. Always grab your drink before loading your plate. Water, iced tea, coffee, whatever keeps you hydrated and happy. A meal without a drink is like a cruise without a towel animal. Technically possible, but deeply disappointing. You want to go back for seconds, but you don't want to lose your spot. So you leave your purse, phone, sunglasses, tablet, novel, and bingo dauber on the table, like you're marking your territory. Here's the reality. Most people are lovely, but not everyone is honest, and buffets can be busy. If you're cruising solo, ask a crew member to watch your spot or take your valuables with you. If you're with someone, tag team your buffet run. Your phone doesn't need to save your seat. It's not a chihuahua at a Starbucks patio. You entered on one side, you explored the stations, and now you don't know how to get back to your table. It's not just you. Cruise ship buffets can feel like food labyrinths, especially after 3 trips to the carving station. Here's your solution. Take note of landmarks. Are you sitting near the soup bar, the ice cream machine, the guy who won't stop talking about how much shrimp he ate? Use your surroundings. And if you do get turned around, hey, maybe you'll find a new dessert section you missed the first time. Most cruisers avoid inside cabins like the plague. No windows, no views. Some say it's like sleeping in a shoebox at sea. So why do I keep booking them over and over again? Well, after more than 30 cruises and thousands of dollars saved, I can tell you this: inside cabins are one of the most underrated travel hacks in cruising. They're not glamorous, they're not scenic, but they've let me travel farther, cruise more often, and actually enjoy my vacations more. And today, I'm going to show you why I always choose an inside cabin, even when I could afford something bigger. Plus, I'll share the unexpected perks most cruisers don't realize, including how one of my balcony upgrades totally backfired. Let's get into it. Let me be brutally honest. I wouldn't be able to cruise half as much if I didn't choose inside cabins. These rooms have saved me thousands of dollars, and I'm not exaggerating. While everyone else is overpaying for ocean views and balconies they barely use, I'm stretching my budget and going on twice as many cruises. One time, I compared 2 identical sailings. Same ship, same itinerary. The inside cabin, $900 cheaper. That's an entire Caribbean shore excursion package, flight upgrade, and drink package. All covered by what I didn't spend on a view I'd barely be in the room to see. And here's the real trick no one talks about. Book early, then reprice often. Cruise prices can drop weeks before departure, and if you haven't hit final payment, you can usually rebook at the lower rate. It's how I've saved hundreds of dollars mid-booking, sometimes without lifting a finger. Most people don't realize this, but inside cabins aren't a downgrade. They're a strategy. This might sound crazy, but inside cabins are actually some of the quietest places on the entire cruise ship. Yeah, the rooms people say are cramped and claustrophobic, they're also the only place where you can actually escape the noise. See, on one cruise, I stayed in a promenade view room, a window cabin that looked out over the ship's interior boardwalk. It sounded fun on paper, until midnight karaoke started echoing through the walls. Kids were screaming, glasses clinking. The hallway lights never dimmed. We barely slept. But the next cruise, I went back to my trusty inside cabin. No windows, no noise, no distractions, just pure silence and the darkest sleep I've had in years. And here's the trick. If you book an inside room that's sandwiched between other cabins, away from the theater, elevators, or nightclubs, it becomes your own personal sleep sanctuary. No footsteps above you, no bass thumping from the nightclub, just you, your pillow, and blackout-level silence. I didn't realize how much I valued peace until I finally got it. This might be the biggest surprise of all. Inside cabins, the cheapest rooms on the ship, actually give you the best sleep you'll ever have on vacation. No balcony, no window, no sunlight, and that's exactly why they work. One cruise, I stayed in a balcony cabin facing the ocean. Gorgeous view. But every single morning, the sun came blasting through the curtains at 6 a.m. like a spotlight. I couldn't sleep in, even when I wanted to. The next cruise, I went back to my usual inside cabin, and it was a total game changer. I slept 9 hours straight. No alarms, no light leaks, no interruptions, just pure, uninterrupted blackout. And here's the thing most people don't realize. It doesn't matter if it's 3 p.m. or 3 a.m. In an inside cabin, your body thinks it's midnight. That means instant naps, deeper sleep, and more energy for your actual vacation. On port-heavy cruises, when you're waking up early and walking 10,000 steps a day, that kind of rest is everything. You didn't come on vacation to wake up tired. You came to feel amazing. And ironically, the room that helps you do that is the one most people overlook. You might think an inside cabin is cramped, awkward, and barely livable. But here's the truth. These rooms are way more functional than people give them credit for. And in some cases, they actually work better than bigger cabins. Let me explain. On one of my first cruises, I was nervous about booking an inside room. I imagined bumping into furniture, nowhere to put my things, no space to move. Basically sleeping in a closet at sea. But when I walked in, I was shocked. Everything had a place. The closet was full-sized. The bed was huge. Even the nightstands had drawers, the vanity doubled as a desk, and there was hidden shelving I didn't even notice at first. It was like being in a tiny, perfectly engineered spaceship. Compact but efficient, and way more comfortable than I expected. And here's what no one tells you. Cruise lines know these rooms are small, so they've designed them down to the centimeter. You're not just getting a cheaper cabin, you're getting a space that's been optimized for actual travelers. So unless you're planning to stay in your cabin all day, which, let's be honest, you won't feel like you're missing anything. In fact, you might start wondering, why were you paying more for space you never used? Let's be honest. Have you ever bought something expensive and then felt like you had to force yourself to use it just to feel like it was worth it? That's exactly what happened when I booked my first suite on a cruise. The room was gorgeous, massive balcony, comfy couch, even extra perks like a priority check-in. But halfway through the cruise, something weird happened. I started stressing about whether I was using it enough. Should I be relaxing more in the room? Should I skip this show and enjoy the balcony? Should I stay in and get my money's worth? Suddenly, I wasn't thinking about what I wanted to do. I was thinking about what I should do to justify the price. Now compare that to cruising in an inside cabin. I sleep, I shower, I leave. That's it. And because I'm not paying for luxury, I don't feel obligated to use it. No guilt, no pressure, no second-guessing my fun. I can spend my days exactly how I want, from sunrise at the buffet to late-night karaoke, without once thinking, should I be in my room right now? Sometimes, the best value isn't what gives you more. It's what gives you the freedom to enjoy everything else. What if I told you some inside cabins actually have a view, even though there's no window at all? I didn't believe it at first either, but it's real, and it's kinda genius. On some of Royal Caribbean's newer ships, you can book an inside cabin with something called a virtual balcony, a massive floor-to-ceiling screen that shows you the exact live view from outside the ship. Waves rolling, sunrises, even port arrivals, all in real time. The first time I stayed in one, I walked in and thought, wait, am I in the wrong room? Because it actually felt like a balcony cabin, even though I was paying inside cabin prices. And Norwegian? They've gone a step further. They now have solo cabins with built-in virtual windows just for one-person stays, and they're surprisingly cozy. Now, does it feel exactly like having a real balcony? Of course not. You can't step out, smell the ocean, or hear the wind, but it gives you the illusion of space. And sometimes, that's all you need to feel a little less boxed in. It's kind of like cruise ship magic, using tech to make a small room feel big. And if you've ever worried about feeling claustrophobic in an inside cabin, this just might be the feature that changes your mind. Let me tell you about the time I upgraded to a balcony cabin and instantly regretted it. We were cruising around Iceland. Glaciers, fjords, absolutely breathtaking. I figured, you know what? I deserve this. So I paid an extra $300 for a balcony cabin, thinking I'd spend every morning sipping coffee with a view. But the moment we set sail, I realized I had made a mistake. Our neighbors? Let's just say they didn't care about the no-smoking policy, or the fact that marijuana is banned on board. They were lighting up on the balcony, constantly. Every time I stepped outside to enjoy the view, it hit me like a wall. Not ocean breeze, not fresh air, smoke, all day. We reported it. The cruise line handled it professionally, but for those first few days, my expensive upgrade, completely wasted. And that's when it hit me. Inside cabins don't have this problem. No balconies, no smoke drifting in, no awkward eye contact through glass dividers. Just walls. Soundproof. Problem-free. Inside cabins might be small, but they come with peace of mind you can't always buy, even if you upgrade. And if you think that's the only hidden downside of balcony cabins, wait until you hear this next one. All right, now that you've seen the perks, let's talk about you. Because the real question isn't whether inside cabins are good. It's whether they're right for your cruise. So let me break it down. If you're cruising on a budget, and I mean really trying to stretch every dollar, this is the easiest win of your whole vacation. Skip the balcony. Book the inside cabin, and use that extra cash for excursions, drinks, or even another cruise. If your itinerary is port-intensive, you know, where you're off the ship nearly every day, why pay more for a view you won't be there to enjoy? Now, flip that. If you're sailing through Alaska, Iceland, or Norway, the kind of destinations where the view is the experience, then yes, a balcony might actually be worth it. Waking up to glaciers and fjords, that's once-in-a-lifetime stuff. And here's a big one. If you're the type of traveler who values slow mornings, private downtime, room service in robes, you might genuinely enjoy the space and vibe of a balcony or suite. But if you're like me, the kind of cruiser who wants to explore every deck, hit every show, and squeeze every ounce of adventure out of the trip, then you don't need a balcony. You need a charging station, a shower, and a place to crash. That's it. You don't need your cabin to be a destination, because the ship and the journey already is. And if that sounds like you, then an inside cabin just makes sense. That's why I almost always stay in an inside cabin. And maybe you should too. Let me know in the comments, what kind of cabin do you usually book and why? And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and tap the bell, so you never miss a new tip from Cruise Blog. Thanks for watching, and happy cruising!